Here on The Wendy Show, we keep a catalog of everything. Just when you think we're not watching or not paying attention, we are always on it. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. My co-hosts, you know, they dance, and the music is really loud. But there was one particular situation that really caught my eye this morning. And yes, you. Front and center. I need you to come out to the aisle and show them what you're twerking with. Because you, madam, are the yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Now, yes. Jesus. Okay. So, young Kevin, he used to have an Audi. But what you do, and my mom told me that, you know, an old wives' tale. You take a quarter and you put it on the belly button and you tape it down. And they sleep with it, and they cry with it, they eat with it, they take a bath with it, and before you know it, you leave that quarter on. By the time you take it off, like, you know, many weeks later, it's an innie.
No.
Oh yes.
No.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. A shout out to all the good people in Boston. That was me and the Kevins walking around campuses. Oh yes. Oh yes. Be very clear. Your kids are very smart.
They are.
They're all in adult conversation.
Yes, they are.
Oh, yes, they are.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, they are. Mm-hmm. When Tamar did that thing with the belly, and you know, then you can hang that on your wall. That's beautiful. Demi Moore, I wish I could have done all that stuff, but you know, on account of my pregnancy, could have ended in tragedy. And so I was just sweating the whole 9 months. And then once the boy was born, I couldn't think about pictures. I'm looking at, okay, so I've gained 103 pounds. I don't feel, oh yes, I clocked in at 297. That's okay, 145 now. Oh, I like a pottery class. Oh, sure, I'm all Demi Moore in Ghost. Oh, yes. You get like so much stuff done during the weekend, it's almost like you work harder on the weekend than you do during the week, right? And then all of a sudden somebody wants to take you out for dinner and it's midnight. I'm like, but you know I love a good time. I put on my cutoffs in the formation of panties. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You know how you model your clothes? You know you can't do it in that bad lighting of a dressing room. Besides, they have two-way mirrors and they're watching you. Watch yourself. In my mind. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Kylie Minogue, you know, she's not as big here in America, but she's like the Madonna of Australia. And, oh, yes. And her, oh, yes. I don't find the Grammys relevant. You know that Beyonce has never won the big award, Album of the Year? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Beehive Swarm. Oh, yes. Jessica Alba, you know, is worth like $1.5 billion. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. By the way, today is National Peanut Butter Day. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Keshia Knight Pulliam, here she is. She didn't just show up to court with Cosby. She's on tour defending him. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Aretha Franklin, you are a mess. And by the way, I still have the Vera Bradley luggage you gave me. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Doesn't mean I can't talk about her, though.
Right.
Did you watch Mariah's World last night?
Oh.
Okay. Oh. James Packard was in it for a bit longer than I thought he would be, her ex-fiance, only in the very beginning of the show, but it was cute. However, you know what? He did dodge a bullet. Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Mariah is hella annoying.
You and I, we kind of got like a love-hate relationship.
I know.
So, you ready? But you in my world now. This is what we do.
I'm okay.
It's going down.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Oh, yes.
Who do you think would be a great addition to Real Husbands of Hollywood? Will Smith? Martin Lawrence? Or you?
Your mother. I can't stand people parking in front of my house. I'm gonna tell you something. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. If you live next door to me and you have company at your house, you have all your people park in front of your house. There's something going on and I'm very, very upset. Oh, yes. My blood pressure is up. Oh, yes. Would you ever spend a night with an ex? Because there's a new show, it's called A Night with My Ex. It premieres this week. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Look. Exes stay together for one night to try to hash out what led to their breakup. I don't know who these people are. You're whack to me.
Once upon a time, I was married, I told you 5 months, but it was a big wedding, like 200 people. It was a big deal. I don't even like to eat the same food that I used to enjoy. You know, or if he liked a particular color, I won't, ew, with that color. You know, he was from Manhattan. I don't even drive on his block. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. A popular block, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of good shopping going on. But no, I will, nope. He's not even there anymore. I still don't, it's just the haunting of. You know what I mean?
Bill Cosby is holding a town hall meeting in various cities where he's trying to restore his image. He's also trying to restore the rights to the hey. Reportedly, he's filed papers to renew the rights to Fat Albert and also the phrase hey. So anytime you use it, you owe him money. Yeah, oh yes. Perhaps for more Benadryl or thigh gappers.
I don't think you understand what it's like.
I don't understand. What are you worried about?
It's like, dance is hard. And
yes, it's called Dancing with the Stars. Samba,
it's
week
like
6,
Sunday,
week 5,
and I had heels on.
Yes, in my opinion, she was being overly dramatic. She wants to stay on the competition as long as possible. Because in addition to being on this show, you realize the longer you stay, the more you get paid. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Well, David Foster is 67. 33-year-old Catherine McPhee is rumored to be dating David. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Now, look, she likes him old. Bethenny Frankel. Is it safe to say she's been a bitch since we've known her? Your man, who's the modern day Michael Chiklis to me. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It's very sexy. However, let's move along to her ex, Jason Sloppy. I mean, he was arrested for stalking her. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You are undateable, Jason. And Suzanne said you still look good. Well, now we're about to kill that. Daily Mail caught him on the street yesterday. He's lost it. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So there's a man in Kansas, and he robbed a bank in September. You want to know why? Oh, poor thing wanted to go to prison to get away from his wife. Look. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Tori and Dean. No visible means of income other than the psychic network. Oh, you've seen her do the psychic network? Have you seen her? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. President Trump. Trump. Clapped back at Snoop Dogg. Oh, yes. This is what it's come to, everyone. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I don't even want to touch my nose, even when it runs, because the flakes. Oh, please, I'm going through a situation up in here. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Priscilla, there she is. She allegedly has keyed an ex's car. But I mean, who doesn't do... This girl also, are you ready for this? Cut off her ex's dreadlocks with a knife. Well, now look. Okay. But this is what men like, Rambo. This is what you like. Oh yes, this is what you like. You see a girl like this at the club, and you know, yes, you don't have to talk. Yeah, he's being decent. Suzanne, you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean.
You never trust a big button to smile.
Never!
Odell Beckham Jr. He played poorly, and people are blaming it on too much partying. Oh, well. Then I'm trying to, you know, troll around and find out, well, you know, give me more about this guy. People say that it appears like Odell has gotten a bit carried away, you know, with his newfound fame and I guess money. And, you know, remember at one point he lived with Drake? And remember at one point he lost his ring in the strip club? Oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes. Drake may have gotten the former porn star pregnant. Her name is Sophie, but she goes by the name of Rosie Devine. And she's claiming that she's 3.5 months pregnant with Drake's baby. Well, you know, this, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, it's going down. 50 Cent got a bit overzealous, but avoided a lawsuit because the girl wanted to be famous. An excited fan grabbed his hand and he ended up punching her. And then he immediately called her on stage and whispered something in her ear. And all was forgiven. And then she began twerking. A man punched you in your boobs. Then again, you shouldn't have grabbed. Yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Mary J. Blige was in a very tumultuous relationship with Casey Haley. That's Casey?
Yep, that one.
Is it?
That's Casey.
Oh yes, that's Casey. Janet Jackson is in our city right now as we talk. So Janet arrived flying commercial. Oh yes, oh yes. Attention everybody. Yeah, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, attention the world. If you have information on Tom Brady's jersey, come to the Crime Stopper. I am Stoppers. I'm the chief of police here, wendyshow.com. And Adriana Lima, who's 35 years old, gorgeous. She used to date Lenny Kravitz. Yeah, we'll get up close and personal with her. Next Monday, she'll be here. Yeah, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. And she's a wing holder. Okay. Victoria's Secret wings. What do you all think? Always thinking about food. Me too. Second day with a Band-Aid. I hate a Band-Aid too. That Jessica Seinfeld though, you know, she gave me those knives. And this is my second finger I've cut in, yeah, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Thank you, Jessica. I love the knives. I am slicing and dicing food and fingers. Thank you.